Hi, welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I am doing a very exciting video that I'm not exaggerating when I say I don't think I've ever seen done before. So I'm excited for this. But yes, today I will be reading 5 books that my hairdresser recommended to me. So if you've been here since the beginning, you know that I got my hair done recently. If you haven't been here since the beginning, just go look at my first few thumbnails and you'll see big difference, very big difference. My hairdresser is also a reader. She loves reading and she's not really on Book Talk or Bookstagram or anything like that. She says she gets recommendations by going on Goodreads and just seeing what the highly rated books are and then picking them up. So we were talking about books. I gave her some recs, she gave me some recs, and then that's when this idea was born. The recommendations that she gave me are, the first one is Lightlark. That one I'm not the most excited for, purely because I've heard a lot of bad reviews for it and I just am scared. I am excited to finally know what my own opinion of it is, rather than just when I was bombarded with TikToks about why it was so bad. So I'm excited to find that out for myself, but I'm also just nervous because even booktubers with similar book taste to my own, I don't want to say didn't enjoy it, but they said it was fine. So I am nervous, but you know, it is what it is. It's the first book that I'm jumping into, so we're gonna find out really quickly if I like it or not. The next 2 books is a duology, and that would be We Hunt the Flame and We Free the Stars. I am pretty excited for this book. I'm just gonna say this now, I don't remember why she recommended any of these because it was several months ago, so sorry for that, but she did recommend these to me and I've been wanting to read them for over a year now. I just never picked them up for some reason, like the mood never felt right. So I'm very excited to finally be picking them up. And I do know it takes place in, like, I think the desert. I could be wrong, but I think it takes place in like a desert type of location. So it's hot as hell where I am, so I'm definitely gonna be in the right headspace to read about a desert. Watch it's like winter and it's not hot at all and I just completely misunderstood the premise. And then the last duology that she recommended is All Us Villains and All of Our Demise. Again, don't really know anything about this. I think she recommended it to me because it's of like anarchy, I want to say. Something like that. Very much Burn the Rich vibes is what I got from her description. So that is what I think that's about, and that's why she recommended it. I'm also very excited for these 2 because I think they're going to be very interesting and good. And originally I thought they were V.E. Schwab, apparently they're not. Aside from Lightlark, which is a maybe, I think I'm gonna enjoy these books a lot. Like, my hopes are very high for high ratings, so my expectations aren't high, my hopes are high, but I am excited. We'll see, and I think this is gonna be a really fun video. So like I said, the first book I'm reading is Lightlark, and then I don't know if I'm gonna do We Hunt the Flame or All Us Villains. I guess just whichever comes in first, but I'm very excited. We shall see, and I will be back once I have an update with Lightlark, whether that be in the middle or in the end, but we'll see. So yeah. So I have finished Lightlark and I should pull up my thoughts on it. Give me a sec. I'm slacking today. And I can't spell today either. Instead of Lightlark, I typed in Lark. But anyway, Lightlark, it was fine, I guess. I don't really know. I have kind of a very indifferent opinion on it. So I do think my opinion differs in the sense that I actually really did enjoy reading Lightlark, but I enjoyed it in the way that I enjoyed Wattpad books as a kid. It was one of those books where, like, I enjoyed it more after I stopped reading it and my brain kind of continued the story on in its own direction, and my brain enjoyed it in the way of like, this is not a good book, but the story has potential, so I'm gonna do whatever I want in my brain fine and then just read the book as inspo. Like, that's kind of how I enjoyed it. I definitely was intrigued by the story. I didn't know what it was about before I picked it up, and if there is a sequel, I would definitely consider picking it up, especially knowing I'm going into it to have a good old time. I'm not going into this for my life to be changed in any kind of way. My expectations were on the ground for this book because I know, like, everyone hated it. I would pick up the sequel very possibly if there is one, and like I said, overall it was fine. I enjoyed it. That being said, I can see why people didn't like it. It did feel very lackluster in some parts. The romance did not feel fleshed out, and there's a love triangle that just kind of popped up out of nowhere. I was really confused about the love interests because, like, I didn't realize it was a love triangle for quite a while, so maybe that's on me for being an idiot, but I was just kind of like, who's the love interest? Who are we rooting for? And then at the end, I realized it was a love triangle. Yeah, that's really my only opinion. I gave it a 3-star. Like I said, very mediocre, very indifferent about it, but I did enjoy it a lot. Like I said, it felt like I was reading a Wattpad book of some kind, and it was just very almost nostalgic for me, which did make it a lot of fun as well. So that's kind of where I'm at. It was a good old time, and I don't know, I had fun. Next, I will be picking up All Us Villains and its sequel, All of Our Demise, I believe. I haven't started it yet, but I am trying to start it maybe next week. And once I get a little bit more into that, I will come back and give maybe a halfway update, if not just a full-on update when I finished it. But yeah, I would say this challenge has gone pretty alright so far. In terms of Lightlark, I knew everyone hated it way before I picked it up. In fact, before my hairdresser recommended it, I wanted to pick it up to see why people hated it so much. So I knew what I was getting myself into, essentially. So yeah, I wouldn't say this challenge is failing at all. In fact, it's gone a lot better than I thought, because the first book I thought I wouldn't like, I did. So yeah, but I will see you when I have an update. So I'm about 41-ish% into All of Us Villains, which is about 5 hours and 20-ish minutes. And I have no idea how I feel about it so far. I was really bored and honestly kind of wanted to DNF it at first. But I thought to myself, you know what, I'm only a few hours in, so I'm gonna give it more of a shot. And the actual competition thing finally started a few chapters ago, so it's gotten more interesting. However, because I was so bored during the first part, I really don't have any connections to any characters, and I really don't have anyone I'm rooting for. I may have made a mistake by listening to this instead of reading it, but it's too late for that, so don't really know how I feel. I do think I'm going to finish this book. However, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be picking up the sequel anymore, because I just don't care that much. Now that the competition has started, it's interesting, but it's very annoying that it's taken me this long to even be somewhat intrigued, because before it literally did not care whatsoever. So that's where I'm at. Not really a great start to this series, but we'll see. Hopefully it gets better, and hopefully I read the sequel, but if not, oh well. And yeah, those are my thoughts. I will be back when I either have more thoughts or when I finish book 1. So I'm back. I ended up DNFing All Us Villains, and I will obviously not be reading its sequel. To be perfectly honest, I found the beginning of the book very boring, and I ended up only really enjoying it once the competition started. But because I found it so boring, I didn't really pay proper attention to anything that was happening. So by the time the competition started, I didn't really know who anyone was. I didn't really know who to root for. Didn't really care about anyone just in general, because I'd kept zoning out during the first part because I just thought it was really boring. I will say maybe this book just isn't the book for me right now, or maybe this book just isn't a book that I should have read as an audiobook. I should have read it as a physical or ebook, or maybe it just isn't for me. I don't really know. Maybe one day I will pick it up again if the inkling strikes, but I don't really honestly see that happening. I've already kind of just forgotten that I read it, so it is what it is. Not every recommendation is going to be great, and that being said, she did describe it to me more so as like, oh, there's a magical competition that people don't know about, but then they find out about it and people are angry. So I think the expectation that I had for this book versus what I'd read so far just didn't match at all. So I was just very confused for most of it, and that's okay. I don't particularly care too much about it. I'm just disappointed because I was excited to read it, but you know, it is what it is. And yeah, next I will be picking up We Hunt the Flame, and then if that goes well, its sequel, We Free the Stars, I believe. So I will check in once I have started it. I haven't started it yet, but hopefully I'll start it soon, and I really hope I enjoy that one because that's a book that I've been wanting to read for at least a year now, if not longer. I just never picked it up for some reason. Like, I just never had the inkling to. It intimidates me quite a bit, but that's where I'm at. So wish me luck with the Lost Duology. I really hope this video isn't a flop. So I have a bit of an update. I believe in my last update I let you know that I'll be starting We Hunt the Stars, We Hunt the Flame next. The title's evading my mind right now, so sorry about that, but I'd be starting the Lost Duology of this challenge, and I haven't started it yet. Today I have made the executive decision to end this challenge here and not pick up the duology, and not because I don't want to read it, but because I don't want to read it right now. I am not in the mood to read it right now. And one thing is, when I film videos versus when I upload videos are very different. I'm sure you might see, based on the videos that have like the timestamps of what days I film and what days I'm reading and everything, I don't always upload a video as soon as I've filmed it. I kind of base it on importance a lot of the time. Like certain videos, if they need to be out, like the Pride video needed to be out in June, so I push back the summer video. A lot of the videos that I do when they come out might have been finished filming a month, a couple of months, a few, several, who knows. So as of right now, in my like day-to-day life and in terms of filming, I have been doing a lot of challenges in terms of like, oh, this challenge, or like reading books for this season. I was actually going to start like an autumnal reading vlog with another book that I decided not to do because the book didn't interest me. And long story short is, I'm basically reading a bunch of books that I don't want to read right now for the sake of making seasonal content, which is fun. I do enjoy it. I'm not saying I don't want to do that, but as of right now, I'm reading books that I don't want to read, and it's not fun anymore. And I mean, like, YouTube isn't my job, so I don't need to force myself to read stuff like that. This is supposed to just be a fun little hobby of something I've always wanted to do. So I don't want to read the duology. I've been waiting for at least a year and a half to 2 years now for the mood to strike for that book, and it hasn't yet, and I really don't want to pick it up. And I am like pushing myself into a reading slump by picking up books that I don't want to read. So that is why I'm ending this video. I am disappointed because this was fun while I was making it, but I don't feel like reading it, and I need to prioritize enjoying my hobby over like, oh, I have to read this now because it's the season to read it. And I never really used to be this way up until Lost Christmas, and I do think it's fun. I do still very much enjoy reading certain types of books in certain times of the year, and I'll obviously still keep doing that, but right now it's just getting to a point where the books I have to read I don't want to. So that is where I am at. I am disappointed to end this video without giving the other two books a shot, but I really don't want to go into a reading slump. I think we can all agree that reading slumps are the absolute worst. So I'm just going to finish up one little challenge that I have left because I'm about to finish book 3 out of 4, so it just feels really stupid to stop it there. So I'm gonna finish that book, and luckily that one's not like a seasonal thing or anything, so there's not too much of a rush. And I'm just going to read the books that I feel like reading and make reading vlogs for those up until the mood strikes again. So that's kind of where I'm at. I know this was a really long, kind of unrelated update, but I also just wanted to explain why I'm stopping this video before I even started the Lost segment of it, I guess you could say. So that is where I'm at. That is how it's going. I am excited to one day, at some point in my life, read We Hunt the Flame duology. I've heard a lot of good things. I've seen it recommended on multiple platforms, and also my hairdresser recommended it. So I'm definitely still going to pick it up at some point in my life, but it's just never been something that I was like immediately interested in, and I'm very much a mood reader. Right now I have way too many unread books on my shelf. I think I have like 11-ish, and normally how I buy books is I buy like 3 at a time, and then I choose those 3 based upon my reading moods. Once I get like halfway up the Lost one, that's when I start looking for other books that I'm in the mood to read, and that's always how I've gone about it. And I kind of went a little crazy with book shopping, and I had a lot of books gifted to me, and it's just become, yeah, it's been like a whole thing, and I've just like not been reading in the ways that I enjoy reading. So I'm just gonna go back to doing what I like to do, and if you get 7 reading vlogs of Frida McFadden, so be it, you know? But yeah, this challenge was fun. I definitely do love book recommendations from people most of the time. And yeah, I'm sorry if this was a disappointing end to the video, and I'm sorry I rambled on for like 5 minutes, but it is what it is, and I just wanted to kind of like explain myself a little bit to anyone who might care. And yeah, let me know what you thought of the books that I read in this video. If you have any opinions on We Hunt the Flame, I would love to know them, as long as they're spoiler free. Maybe give me some incentive on why I should pick them up soon. If you like me or my videos, I would really appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe. I promise I've finished all my other challenges. This is one of the few flops that I've had. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.